Our family says former GTTF Sergeant Wayne Jenkins caused the death of their father because of an illegal stop. They're asking for $25 million. They named the city, the department, even slain homicide detective Sean Suter. WMAR 2 News' Brian Kubler here now to explain the latest in this scandal from the GTTF.
Jamie, this happened back in 2010, back when the Davis family was told their father's death was because of a reckless drug dealer fleeing police. But years later, they're now suing the police who told them that in the first place. 8 years ago, 86-year-old Elbert Davis was sitting at a stop sign in northwest Baltimore when a car being chased by police collided with his. The patriarch of this large Baltimore family would later die from his injuries. Police at the time charged Umar Bradley for drug possession, running from police, and causing the death of Davis. That officer was now convicted, Sergeant Wayne Jenkins. An indictment by the feds last year would find Burley's stop was illegal, that Jenkins planted the drugs that day. The death of Davis, now the tragic result of a bad stop, a bad charge, and a bad cop.
It's been so long. The lie went on for so long. It was over 7 years before we found out what really happened to my dad.
Does that anger you?
It angers me. It angers me a lot. Every time we speak about it, I get angry all over again.
And so the family has filed this lawsuit late last night. They're seeking $25 million in federal court and name not just Jenkins, but the officers with Jenkins back in 2010. A current sergeant at the Baltimore Police Department and then officer Sean Suter. The eventual homicide detective police say was killed last year, his still unsolved death happening a day before his scheduled testimony to a grand jury about this very case.
Detective Suter was driving one of the two vehicles involved in the initial stop. We believe that the evidence will show that he wasn't naive to the legal reason why they were making the stop.
Davis attorneys say Suter was a willing participant in the illegal stops, even though in the original indictment, federal prosecutors said he was clueless. Still, Suter's estate is listed as a defendant as this family attempts to prove his culpability along with the city, the state, and the entire police department, alleging a corrupt culture in the BPD allowed to go unchecked for years until it collided with the innocent death of a man who was simply stopped at a stop sign.
The Davis family is the ultimate victim of this terrible story, and the Davis family seeks justice.
Now, since this indictment was unsealed late last year, the original defendant, Umar Burley's conviction, was vacated and he was let out of jail. There is a chance his case and this one could be combined in federal court. Now, while Jenkins has been convicted and is currently serving 25 years in prison, the other officer named in that suit, Ryan Gwynn, is still a sergeant with the Baltimore Police Department and as of today is listed as full active duty.
Brian Kubler.